I'm 53 now. My name doesn't matter, but hers was Joanne. Well, that's not her real name, but let's call her that. Joanne and I were together for 26 years, married for all of them. But really, our story started long before rings and vows. We met when we were 17. She went to the Catholic high school on the other side of town, and I went to the public one. Our paths crossed one summer when her dad came to fix a broken harvester on our farm. He was the best heavy-duty mechanic in the county, and I'll never forget the day she climbed out of that old Ford pickup with him, hair in a braid, denim jacket. Curious smile. She caught my eye immediately. That was the beginning. We grew up together, in every sense of the word. Right after high school, we made a plan, travel a little, see a bit of the world before settling down. We both knew that starting a family meant putting those adventures on hold, maybe forever. It wasn't extravagant. We weren't backpacking across Europe, but it was ours. We camped, drove across provinces, stayed in cheap motels, and shared meals off diner plates with chipped rims. I had inherited some land from my father, who got it from his father before him, and when we got back, we built a house on that land with our own hands. That place, that land, it wasn't just dirt and lumber. It was our beginning. Joanne got pregnant fast. Our first boy came along not long after we settled in. Then 3 more followed. For boys, all grown now, all strong, all carrying our name. They're good men. They were raised right on discipline, love, hard work, and family. My family's been farming for generations. Dairy, mostly. We were one of the biggest producers in the North, and I say that not to brag, but because it meant something where we come from. It meant waking up before the sun, fixing your own machinery, knowing the land like your own heartbeat. Joanne said she wanted that life. Said she didn't want anything else. She helped on the farm for decades, learning everything from scratch. She didn't grow up with that life, but she embraced it, or so I thought. Looking back now, I wonder if she ever really loved it, or if she just loved me. For years ago, things started shifting. The boys were grown and out of the house, starting their own families and helping out on the farm. Joanne said she wanted to try something new. Her friend convinced her to join this door-to-door cosmetics company. Something like Avon, you know the type. Her friend told her she was beautiful, charismatic, that people liked her, and she'd be a natural. That seemed to awaken something in her. She started asking me if I thought she was pretty, over and over again. I was caught off guard at first. Joanne had never been the type to fish for compliments. She knew she was gorgeous, and she was. But I started telling her more often. I'd look her in the eye and say, "You're beautiful," every day. Because I meant it. Because I wanted her to know. But something was changing. She wasn't asking me about the cows anymore. Didn't care what the boys and I were up to in the barn. The small things, the coffee she used to bring out to me in the field, the way she'd polish the old tractor seats just because those stopped. I chalked it up to her being busy, excited about her new work, and I supported her. I told her, do what makes you happy. I meant it. I didn't want her to feel stuck. She started doing really well with that company. So well, in fact, that they gave her a car. One of those fancy German things that looked completely out of place parked next to the old pickup and the muddy ATV. Suddenly, she wasn't my Joanne anymore. Not the woman in the worn-out jeans and flannel shirts. She started dressing, upscale, like someone I didn't recognize. She was buying clothes that cost more than our whole wedding. Getting her nails done. Driving into the city just to shop. I saw the visa bills. I saw the change. But I told myself she's earned it. She said, this job's about image. I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But I didn't realize, not yet, that I was watching my wife turn into someone else. It got worse that winter. She stopped coming to church with me. We'd gone every Sunday for over 2 decades. Sat in the same pew. Knew everyone's names. But suddenly she was too tired. Or she had an event. Or she wasn't feeling well. I sat there alone, week after week, pretending I didn't feel abandoned. Our friends asked where she was, and I gave them polite lies. Busy with work, I'd say. Probably still sleeping in, she's been going hard all week. In truth, I was worried. Not angry, just confused. There were nights she wouldn't come home until after midnight. I'd ask her where she'd been, and she'd get defensive. Do I ask you where you were every hour of the day on the farm? She'd snap. And that stung. Because I'd never hidden anything from her. I started doing something I'm not proud of. I began watching her. Subtly, at first. Checking the odometer on her car. Listening closely when she talked on the phone. I didn't want to be that kind of husband. I didn't want to doubt her. But something deep in my gut, something primal, told me I was being lied to. Then came the night I found the message. She'd left her tablet open on the kitchen counter, just sitting there unlocked. I wasn't snooping. I walked by it on the way to the coffee pot, and the screen lit up. There it was. A message notification. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Your hands drive me crazy. I stood there, frozen. My throat went dry. I clicked it. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. And it opened a chat full of messages. Flirty. Sexual. Familiar. I read enough to know this wasn't a one-time thing. It had been going on for months. I felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. My knees actually buckled. That's not something people tell you about betrayal. It's not just emotional. It's physical. Your body revolts. My hands were shaking so hard I couldn't hold my coffee mug. She got home 2 hours later. I didn't yell. Didn't scream. I just showed her the screen and asked, "Who is he?" She went quiet. For a long time. Then she said, "His name is Derek. He works with me. We've been seeing each other." Seeing each other. That's how she phrased it. Like it was a movie date. Not an affair. Not a wrecking ball through our life. I asked her how long. Almost a year. A whole year. While I was feeding cows, mending fences, making her coffee every morning, she was lying next to another man. Maybe more than just lying next to him. I sat down at the table and asked her the only question I really wanted answered. "Do you love him?" She hesitated, then said, "I don't know." That, "I don't know," hurt worse than if she'd said yes. I told her to leave. That night, I couldn't look at her anymore. I didn't raise my voice. I just said, "You need to go." And she did. She packed a bag and left without another word. I cried that night. Not the silent, masculine tears I'd always imagined I'd cry if something broke me. I sobbed. Loud, ugly sobs. I clutched the arms of my chair so hard I left nail marks in the wood. I cried like a man who just lost his past, his present, and his future all in one breath. The days after she left were the longest I've ever lived. I'd wake up expecting to hear her humming in the kitchen, frying eggs like she always did on Sundays. But all I heard was the refrigerator's hum. The silence was deafening. Her absence echoed in every corner of the house. Her hairbrush still sitting on the sink. Her favorite coffee mug still on the shelf, untouched. At first, I thought maybe she'd call. Apologize. Say it was a mistake. That she missed me. But she didn't. A week passed. Then 2. Then I heard through the grapevine, not from her, that she'd moved in with him. Derek. They were renting a little place on the edge of town. My stomach dropped. She hadn't just broken something. She'd replaced it. I didn't tell anyone. Not my brother. Not the preacher. Not even my oldest friend. I kept it inside like a sickness. I didn't want their pity. I didn't want their rage. I just wanted to survive the next sunrise. The farm helped. The work doesn't care about heartbreak. The cows still needed feeding. The fences still needed mending. And in that labor, I found something close to peace, or at least numbness. But the nights were brutal. There was one night I opened an old photo album. Our wedding day. Her smile lit up the frame. And all I could think was, when did that light go out? Was it gradual? Or did she just wake up one morning and stop loving me? She texted me once. Just once. It was 3 weeks after she left. She wrote, "Hope you're doing okay. I'll come by next week to get the rest of my things." That's all. No apology. No regret. Just logistics. Like we were business partners closing up shop. When she came back, I made sure I wasn't home. I couldn't watch her walk through our house like it didn't mean anything. I left the front door unlocked, packed her things neatly, and put them by the bedroom door. Later, I found a note. "I'm sorry. I know I broke you. But I didn't know how to be happy anymore, and he made me feel like someone again." That was the part that crushed me. Because for 27 years, I thought I was her someone. It took months for me to start feeling human again. I wasn't eating right, barely sleeping. I lost weight. The circles under my eyes looked like bruises from a fight I didn't win. Friends started to check in, cautiously, like I might shatter if they said the wrong thing. I'd nod and smile, tell them I was getting through it. But the truth was, I didn't even know who I was without her. I tried to distract myself, took on more hours at work, repainted the living room, donated old clothes, anything to scrub her out of this house. But grief doesn't live in objects, it lives in memories. And those were everywhere. There was a mug she loved that I couldn't bring myself to throw out. A damn coffee mug. Every time I saw it, it felt like someone drove a nail through my chest. I finally smashed it in the sink one night, crying like a child, because somehow it felt like I was letting her go. But healing doesn't come all at once. It creeps in slowly, in the moments you don't expect. Like the morning I woke up and realized I hadn't thought about her in 2 days. Or when I passed a mirror and didn't flinch at the stranger staring back at me. Or when I took the dogs for a walk and laughed at something silly, without guilt. One day, I sat on the porch, sipping my coffee from a new mug, and realized I hadn't checked her social media in over a month. I didn't even feel curious. That silence, which once gnawed at me, finally felt like peace. But then she reached out again. It had been nearly a year since she walked out of my life, and just like that, her name lit up my phone. No, hi, no warning. Just, can we talk? My heart didn't skip. It didn't race. It just sank. Because I knew whatever came next, I wasn't the same man she left behind. And I wasn't sure she deserved to know the man I'd become. I stared at the message for a long time. A year ago, I would have dropped everything, rushed to reply, clung to the hope that maybe, just maybe, she realized what she lost, that she wanted me back, that we could undo the damage. But now I sat with it, breathed, let the silence linger. Eventually, I replied, "What for?" She said she wanted to apologize, said she missed me, said she made a mistake. But here's the thing, apologies don't stitch a broken heart back together. And missing me wasn't enough to erase the nights I cried alone, wondering why I wasn't enough. She made her choice. She knew what she was doing, and I had to live with the fallout she caused. So I told her the truth. I told her that I appreciated her message, that I hoped she was getting her life together. But I wasn't the man she left. I had rebuilt myself from the ashes she left behind. And going back? That would burn me all over again. She didn't reply after that. And for the first time, I was okay with that. Because closure didn't come from her words, it came from mine. That night, I sat outside again. Same porch. Same view. But the weight in my chest was gone. I wasn't waiting anymore. Not for her, not for answers, not for apologies. I was free. And I realized something. Some heartbreaks don't heal by being fixed. They heal when you stop picking at the wound. I had stopped, and that was enough.